follow, so I'll try and keep it a little bit quicker. But no, good evening everyone. It's great to see everyone travelling from all over the place, and we're all here to celebrate Prajoti, aka Mum. So, Mum, it's hard to believe that you are 60. I mean, firstly, let's be honest, you don't look a day over 40. And I think everyone here would agree, am I right? Whenever we tell people you're already grandmother of 2 boys, usually takes a second look. But I think more impressive than that is still that you have the energy and the humour of a 21-year-old. And I think that's one of the things we love most about you. You're always the life of the party and have this incredible ability to bring laughter to everyone around you. So I think my favourite version of Mum personally usually appears after exactly 1 glass of wine, when you proudly announce to the whole group that you are pished, and from that point onwards the jokes begin. Somehow the jokes become a little bit more questionable and inappropriate as time goes on, but I think we'll let that slip as you're getting into your elder years. But most importantly, within a few minutes you're crying out laughter at your own jokes, so that's a special sight for everyone. And of course, one of your greatest talents is the ability to boogie. And going by previous parties, I'm sure we'll see that on the dance floor later, which is actually quite fitting because, as most of you know, and as Samia and Tanvi just said, you spent your life teaching dance. So every dance starts with steps. And for tonight, rather than a traditional speech, what we're going to do is a little bit different. We are going to figure out the steps and the choreography of Life of Prajoti. Now, over the last 37 years, including all the time Dad's known Mum, we've been carefully studying you. So here are some of the key steps that are your life. First step, the Duracell Bunny Shuffle. Now, the first step to becoming Prajoti is apparently functioning with absolutely no sleep whatsoever. Now, people often ask, what was Mum like when we were growing up? So rather than telling lots of little stories, I think the best way is to just describe a day in my life. So it usually used to start with 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Now, that would be up at 5 a.m, spending time with Dad before he went off to work. Then driving halfway across the country with Pushpanjali dance to teach hundreds of children all over the country, often as far as London and Inverness. That would then continue by racing back home to be back with us on time, cooking dinner, often 3 or 4 dinners because you have spoiled children, some which would need meal number 1 at 5 o'clock, another one at 8 o'clock, and then a different meal for everyone in the family. And of course, having the same thing just wasn't an option. But then the day continued by keeping the house running. You would have hours of errands late into the night, a full-time job in itself. And at this point, when most people would go to bed because they're exhausted, you'd stay up late with Chinko and I watching TV because you never wanted to miss out on time with us together. Of course, we would wake up late, but then you would be back awake again at 5 a.m. and do the same thing over and over again, 7 days a week for over 20 years. Most people would call that exhausting, but for Mum, that was just Tuesday. And somehow, if you fast forward to today, over 60 or 6 years old, and very little has changed. But if anything, it's just gotten worse and harder because you've added one more full-time role, and that is Niminya, or Aji, or grandmother, to those who don't know what that means. Now, the only downside of trying to do absolutely everything is that you occasionally become a little bit distracted. So sometimes it's searching for your glasses when they're already on your head, or the Prajoti special, which is holding a baby in your arms and suddenly panicking, where's Nathan? Where's Kieran? Where's anyone seen them? Which has happened quite a few times too many, starting with us 35 years ago and still continuing, so nothing has changed. So looking back, getting to 60 with as much energy you have is actually quite remarkable. Now, there's step 2, which is the open arm 2-step. And what that is learning how to make everyone feel like family. One thing that you've mastered is making people feel instantly welcome. Now, whether it's someone you've known for 30 years or 30 minutes, anytime anyone interacts with you, you'll feel fed, loved, and hugged. Now, the Prajoti special, as any of you know, Sharadanti, I think this is specifically one for you, is a 5-minute catch-up, can become a 2-hour live update on the phone more often than not, and I'm sure that's with a lot of people. But looking around the room tonight, that says everything. You've got family, friends, current students, past students, and people from all walks of life that are all here to celebrate you and just love you more than anything. And that's not something you can learn, it's just who you are. It's step 2 complete from the journey to Prajoti. Now, step 3 is the Bollywood Boogie. That is mastering the ability to take ideas and turn them into reality. So many people have brilliant ideas, but the difference is most people stop there. You've never had that problem. Now, most of us know you as Mum or Prajoti Auntie, but your dancing resume and resume of life is second to none. To start, you've had the impact on hundreds, if not thousands of children over 30 years of teaching, who you've introduced to Bharatanatyam, Bollywood, Indian culture, and confidence. But you didn't just teach dance. You built Pushpanjali, you traveled the country, you created Natya aerobics. You have students still dancing now after your mentorship, and that's the biggest compliment to who you are. And throughout all of it, you just remained unbelievably humble. And I just genuinely don't think you realise how many lives you've influenced, how many people you've touched, but I think everyone in this room really does. Step 4 is the selfless tango, which is probably the hardest step of the routine. And this is the step where you just learn how to put everyone first forever. You came to this country with a 5-week-old baby on your own after dad had already come here, travelling to the UK for the first time on a plane. Now, for most people it's a challenge going to the shops with a baby on their own. You travelled across the world, you started from scratch, you had no foundation, and you managed to make a life out of it. And when we look back at our childhood, we're obviously grateful for the holidays that you and Dad gave us and everything we experienced, but I think our favourite memories are just the ones where you prioritised being with us. Whether it was playing bulldog in the garden, watching Law and Order until 2 in the morning at the expense of your own sleep, or dropping everything when we needed, just spending every hour chatting about anything and everything we need. And we'll always love you for that. And I think the final step is the spotlight, which is the most important step for this, which is learning to bring joy wherever you go. Because that's probably what everyone here knows you best for. You're always smiling, always laughing, always finding happiness in whatever you're doing. And of course, the wonderfully embarrassing moments, whether it was that phase you had speaking to all of my friends like a gangster saying, "in it," after every other sentence, or as a Mo will know, waking us up every morning, rapping to your own rendition of Black Eyed Peas' "Shut Up" with "Wake up, just wake up, wake up." At the time, we were absolutely mortified, but looking back, those were the little moments that, being the moments that we treasure the most and that we've just needed all throughout our life. You have this incredible ability to make every person around you just feel special. And that's why we're all here tonight. So, after 35 years of careful observation, we've reached one conclusion. Nobody can learn and master the steps to becoming Prajoti. The choreography is just too difficult. So Mom, there's just one final instruction for the rest of the evening. No organising, no hosting, no checking everyone's eaten. Just for once, let everyone celebrate you. Happy 60th birthday, we all love you.
I'm indeed blessed. I am blessed with a beautiful family. I'm blessed with beautiful friends and relatives everywhere. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kailash. Thank you so much, Namrata, Owen, Grace, my lovely husband, who is the rock in my life. With all my madness, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde personality, yeah, which most women have. I'm sure a lot of you can identify with that. But he's been the rock in my family and in my life. He's always there supporting me in everything I want to do. He has faith in me and says, you can do it. Whatever you want to do, just go for it and do it. And I'm there. And I love you all so much. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for everything. I think now we are all ready to go and dance. Yeah? Let's go and put boogie on the floor and we get some good music. Yeah? Thanks, Joe.
No doubt you will. Are we going to have a dance lesson there by any chance? Just asking for a friend.
I think we can ask Soumya and Vinaya to teach you the viral dance from your Instagram, which they made me do. They gave me 10 minutes. And they said, Auntie, you have to learn this in 10 minutes. And how does it feel to be a student? I said, I gave you weeks. You've given me 10 minutes. But yeah, I think they can take the lead and teach everybody a dance.
I think everyone should take the lead. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please, massive round of applause for Kaya, the two beautiful ladies, the students. And what a way for the celebrations to carry on. People, I'm going to blast some music over there. Hopefully I don't shatter any of the glasses, but please do join us there. Let's have a boogie, let's have a great night, and let's enjoy ourselves. Happy birthday, Prajote!